Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Communities Live here on Sheffield Live 93.2 FM. And we have the one and only Chesney Hawkes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I see what you did there.
So, I've got to talk about you started at 19 with a film called Buddy's Song. And also, your hit single, The One and Only, was also on that film. So, tell us a bit about how that started.
What the my early days?
Yeah, your early days.
Yeah, as you say, I starred in a film with Roger Daltrey. I only went up for that part because there was a potential record deal at the end of it, the elusive record deal. I'd never really acted in my life up to that moment, so I thought there was a possible record deal at the end of it, so I went for it. And that I got the part and got the record deal, and then the one and only came out, and then the rest is history, isn't it?
And I've got to say, it's been in the top 10 UK charts for 5 weeks. I mean, that must have been a thrill for you.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I was only young. I was only 19. It was number one for 5 weeks actually. And yeah, pretty crazy times. But the great thing about that that song, and my relationship to that song now is that I'm able to, talk to you and bring in new music, and which is fabulous. It's amazing.
I've got to ask you, Chesney, as well. I mean, who inspired you to become a musician? And also, if there was anybody that you could work with in the near future, whether it be singer or producer, who would it be and why?
Well, I was inspired by my upbringing. My father was the lead singer of a band called the Tremolos from the 60s. So I kind of grew up with music around the house, guitars propped up in every corner and all that kind of stuff. So that was my thing. And obviously my love of music, and grew up with the Beatles and Prince and,
Hmm.
Nick Kershaw and people like that. And who would I want to work with in the future? I guess, all sorts, because I'm a big music lover.
Sure.
But I love people like Phoebe Bridgers, for instance. She's one of my all-time favorites, and doing very, very well at the moment. But maybe Tom York. How about that little combination there?
Interesting.
Radiohead with me. Do you think they'd have me on stage?
You never know. You never know who's listening,
Yeah.
so you never know. It might be a collaboration in the future. So, and I've got to say, I mean, you made a new single called "Get a Hold of Yourself." So, tell us a bit about how making that song. How long did it take to make?
Well, I mean, it's all part of a larger project, an album that I wrote and produced with a guy called Jake Gosling, who was basically the guy that discovered Ed Sheeran and went on to work with One Direction and Lady Gaga and Major Lazer and Paloma Faith and all these amazing stars, and little old me. So we did an album together as kind of a bit of a passion project between the two of us, because I've known Jake for a long time. And this song here ended up being the kind of I don't know, catalyst to bring forth as the first single, just because, mainly because it's kind of got this uplifting self-expression kind of, don't give a monkeys what people think of you, and that's kind of where I'm coming from. It's positivity. It's like I'm in my 50s, and I'm naked in the video, and obviously don't really care what people think, and it's okay to do that and be you, and you're enough, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the feeling behind this whole project.
And you say you've got a new album, a new album. So, when's that currently going to be released?
Well, we don't have a release date for the rest of the project yet. There will be other singles, and an album possibly in the new year, followed by a tour. So it's all very exciting.
Interesting. We can't wait. And I've got to ask for, I mean, for anybody that wants to break into this kind of industry, the music industry, what advice would you give to them? And also, how difficult is it?
It's a very, very different world to when I started, Chris. It is difficult in as much as, it's easier to put your music up there on Spotify and Apple Music and all that kind of stuff. And, we all know people that have their own music up. Even people that are making your coffee at Starbucks have their music up on Spotify. So the competition is huge. I think basically what's interesting about today's time is that you have your career in your own hands, in your own fingertips. With social media, you can build that, and that's kind of the way record labels look at new artists now. They don't really come and see them live and stuff these days. They check to see how many Instagram followers they have and how they can utilize those followers. So it's a very, very different world. But my advice really is if you're passionate about it and you have the tenacity to be knocked back and get back up again, then you're gonna have more of a chance of making it. But you just have to keep going.
And I mean, also we've got you say social media. So, do you have like Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, where people can follow you?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I'm on all the usual social platforms, all of those that you just mentioned. Plus, I do have the website which kind of collates everything, if you know what I mean. So ChesneyHawkes.com if anyone's interested.
And is there any upcoming projects that you're currently working on? I know you mentioned the album, but is there any? Is it anything that you can mention, or is it all secretive at the moment?
It's all a little bit secretive right now, Chris. Yeah, I mean, I have this album ready to go, which I haven't announced yet, and I haven't announced the tour yet, which is why I'm kind of doing this round of promo and talking about the single and the video. And people do seem to be talking about the video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it is quite funny. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I've got to
it's
say it's a
caused
fantastic song.
yeah, it's caused quite a stir. The video, tastefully placed things to get in the way of my modesty, I guess.
And my final question for you, Chesney, is because I like to give a final word to you. Is what would you like to say to our listeners who will be listening right now?
Oh, well, hopefully I will be touring near Sheffield, or if not, then actually in Sheffield. And I love Sheffield, actually. It's a great town, got such history, storied history, and it's a beautiful part of the world. So I can't wait to play in front of you guys, and I promise I'll wear some clothes.
And I've got to say, Chesney, if you do ever come to Sheffield, we do have a proper studio. So if we ever come to Sheffield, I would love to have you to meet you in person.
Oh, that would be great. I'll bring a guitar.
Thank you, Chesney. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thanks, Chris. Take care, mate. Bye now.